I remember reading about the princess, boy, like late last year, right? And right? You wonder about these things. How is this going to turn out? Is it going to be decent? Is it going to be like too ridiculous? But I think the end result, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So it is directed by Le-Van Kiet and were written by Ben Lustig and Jake Thornton. The film is produced by um, Toby Jafe, Derek Kolstad. That might have been why I heard about it, the John Wick connection. Neil H. Muntz. It is executive produced by Guy Riddell, Joey King. It is co-produced by Jake Thornton, Ben Lustig, Austin Lapierre, and a line produced by Valentin Dimitriov. Music is Natalie Holt. Cinematography is Lorenzo Sanator. It is edited by Alex Fenn. Casting is Elaine Granger and Marina Stanshova. Production design is Mark Horns. Jane Dundes handles set decoration. Hair, makeup, all that jazz. Linda Armstrong, Daniela Avaroniova, Natalia Ivanova, Boyka Madinova, Malowina Suimishka, Sylvia Tosheva, Vesla Tosheva, and Christina Vlateva. Okay, so our cast. Well, we have got Joey King as the princess. We have got her sister Violet, played by Caitlin Rose Downing. Oh, I think that's Robert Downey's kid. Her dad, the king, is played by Ed Stoppard. His wife, the queen, is Alex Reed. We have got the maniacal prince, played by Julius, played by Dominic Cooper. I knew I recognized the motherfucker. I'm looking, I'm thinking, how do I recognize that person? Right, Moira is played by Olga Kurlenko. We've got Kai, played by Christopher Camillasio. His daughter Lynn is played by Veronica Nuko. We've got the young version of the princess, played by Aligera Dutoit. There is a lot of mercenaries. Their leader is played by Antonio Davidiv. We got Radoslav Paravanov, Ludmil Kayova, Ivan Vodanenkorov, Mitkoy Angelov, Aspel Tenev, Vasil Toshev. There's a lot of it's a lot of mercs, a lot of Eastern European mercs. Like, we don't really know where this kingdom is. It looks like it might be in Europe somewhere. You know, who the fuck knows, man? Who the fuck knows? Well, the gist of the film, people, it is this. A beautiful, strong willed young royal refuses to wed the cruel psychopath to whom she is betrothed and is kidnapped and locked in a remote tower of her father's castle. With with her scorned, vindictive suitor intent on taking her father's throne, the princess must protect her family and save the kingdom no matter what the cost. So, yeah, I don't think, like, at the start, it doesn't, like, you don't get the impression that everyone knows, Julius is a psychopath. Right, I think the notion of her, like, from what how it's kind of played, you feel the notion of not wanting to marry is the fact that I have no say over this. You know what I mean? Where's the free will, right? Why do I have to marry this? Why can't I lead the kingdom? That's the thing. And then the psychopath comes out after all of that. You know what I mean? I think that's it. But yeah, you get a feeling no one really knew he was that, And if they did, they're a bunch of dumbasses for not thinking, if he gets, left at the altar, how you think he's gonna react? You know what I mean? There's one thing about saying no behind closed doors where, you're gonna be pissed, but do it in front of people, woo, gonna go crazy. So yeah, if they knew he was a psychopath, I mean, they brought this shit on themselves, right? It's hard to feel bad for them. Anyway, I mean, yeah, a lot of people died. That wasn't a good look on his part, but yeah, there's a lot of action, right? It's kind of like the anti-raid, where she's trying to get out of a tower, or in the raid they're going up the tower, right? This is kind of the other way around. But yeah, a lot of action. And I think the big thing about this for me, the action was more fuck. I had a little while back. It was in my head. I was like, yeah, it was like that, wasn't it? It was, Kevin. Very true. Oh, you should make that point. I will. Fuck. Uh like it was the fluidity of body motion, right? It wasn't straight brute against straight brute, right? Because you're thinking, and a lot of times, when we see that in films, like this little girl standing toe to toe to someone like the Mountain, and you're just like, she ain't taking that punch. Hey, what are we saying here? But this, it was going with the motion of the body, using your opponent's strength against them makes a lot of sense, right? And that is how a lot of times women are trained in self-defense, right? Because yeah, you're gonna be weaker. But if someone overbalances, comes at you, you can use their momentum. And that's what we saw here. There was a lot of that. So it made it, you'd be like, yeah, I see that happening. That's cool. That's cool. Now, I mean, it gets crazy when it's a 6-on-1. You know what I mean? You'd be like, okay, now I don't know. You know what I mean? But all the others, yeah, it was kind of fun. Ain't gonna lie, kind of fun. I enjoyed this shit. You know, um, there was a couple of things in here. She gets wet, like I think 3 times. 3 times she gets wet. The first time, I'm a bit like, okay, if they're looking for her, wouldn't you just follow the wet footprints? Right? That'd be a big giveaway. You'd be like, lads, I might be wrong, but none of us are wet. There's wet footprints. Maybe, right? So there was that point. But the other big thing was Shorty dried off super quick. Like she's all wet, and then we see her and she's all dry. And you're like, oh, what fabric is that? Because I don't believe she's wearing merino wool, right? So someone needs to find out because you're gonna make mad money off of that. Shit that tries that quick, boy, sign me up. I mean, not for the dress, just the fabric. You know what I mean? I'll make that into a suit and shit. That'll be fire, right? But yeah, so there was that. I mean, there's a few stabbies, right? People getting stabbed, and then that not really like slowing them down properly. And when you see what this chick she goes through, there are bits like, okay, right? As far as I'm aware, this is all happening in about a day. So I don't know if someone won't be able to fight. Like at the end of all of that, that's a lot. You know what I mean? That's a lot. But you know, what I mean, this is the thing. You have to. There needs to be a lot of escaping of reality, right? You can't look at it and be like, okay, I don't know. And this is a great thing because sometimes I can't do that, right? I get thrown out and I'm just like, yo, that makes no sense to me, man. What's happening? What the hell is happening? But for this one, yo, I was down. You know what I mean? I was able to be like, yo, I get that don't make too much sense, but it's all good. It's all good. It's one of the funny things. There's a few funny things about this film, right? Because you know they try to make it a little diverse, right? And that was one of the big things. Julius is mad because you know the king has opened up the kingdom, but it's not. It's not like there's a load of peoples, you know what I mean, that are different up in the spot. There's like maybe five, and you'd be like, "Oh, you're pissed about that?" Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? That's nothing. And then we have that thing where Lynn and her dad, right? They taught the princess, you know, fighting skills, you know, from the Orient, right? But you have that bit where you know, what I mean, someone's teaching, the other person's a student, and then eventually they are able to be victorious, right? And it's just a bit like, no, like there's just not enough time, not enough time, you know what I mean, for someone to be able to then beat the master, right? And look, we've seen it so many times, right? I think when you look at cats like Matt Sarah, you know what I mean? And you know, I even Eddie Bravo too. You know what I mean? Like they will tell you that you know then when they're rolling up against someone like John Jack Machado, right? They're not winning. You know what I mean? They're not necessarily winning, but they're not getting tapped out in a second like when they were white belts, right? They're holding their own a little bit better, but you know what I mean? When someone has acquired so much knowledge, it's just like yo trying to catch up. That's some craziness. Now, as we see, like Eddie Bravo, right? He'd be was it Roller Gracie, Hoyler Gracie? I think it was Hoyler Gracie. I think he beat Hoyler, which was fucking insane, right? But it's like that was a huge thing. But it's not like he was, you know, it's not a hey bro, so fucking high level, son. Right? But there's levels, and he will tell you there are levels to this shit. The same with Sarah, right? I think Sarah was fuck. I forget the Gracie Sarah's under, but he was like his first, you know, US black belt, right? And again, he like, you know, he did his like he straight up did his thing in jiu-jitsu as well as being a UFC champion, right? But it's like you ain't just it takes years. It takes years. So it's just that kind of thing where like these films They're like, oh yeah, we want to represent a bit, we want to show this thing, but then be like, all right, they're gonna acquire the skills quicker than any of you peoples, right? Shiny, this white little girl, she's better than you, son. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how they do that kind of thing, right? But that aside, the princess is fun, right? I feel it's the evolution of Xena, right? I hated Xena was some stupidness, right? Also because it was that whole thing of, you know, strength against strength, and you're like, I ain't making no sense. But this, it's like, boom, trying to show the empowerment and the women can fight and all of that, which again we've seen with the UFC. Women are badasses. Everyone knows that, right? I mean, Nikita back in the day. You feel me? But this one, it makes it more realistic, right? Makes it more realistic with the fights, the fun action, good camera movement, following that action. Yeah, if you like Xena, if you like Buffy, right? Them films, those shows. Then yeah, I think the Princess, boom, you're on that. You're gonna be on it. You're gonna enjoy it. It's fun as fuck. It's fun as fuck. You know. I mean, the king, who's meant to like the one thing because we see a lot of flashbacks, right? And the king is meant to be like this benevolent, like wise, real, sincere motherfucker. And then some of the like the ignorance, some of the things he's like saying in the flashback, you'd be like, I don't know if that's the same dude, right? He's coming with a different energy here. But yo, you know, yeah. It's some of the craziness in the writing, but yeah, no, I enjoyed it. As I said, look, if you like, Xena, Buffy, all them kinds of things, then the princess is for sure gonna be for you. All right, it's Disney Plus. I think it's in the Star brand, like the Star tile. Yeah, I think that's where it falls. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can find it there. It's a shame they didn't end with the original White Reading. You know, very fitting song to throw up in there, but yeah. I would have put in the original because the original was the best, you know what I mean? But yeah, people, the princess.